Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to more of the Star Ladder I-League Star Series Season 3 action here. It's the American Qualifiers, and we are in the scheduled second series of the day in game number 2. We have been waiting around all day. I want to say like 2.5 hours, 3 hours to watch some Dota, a little bit delays, and then this, big game update comes out. Dark Moon, I don't know what it's called. First
You're
game
right, it's
takes
Dark Moon.
first game mod takes 15 minutes and we're done. So
I don't know anymore. I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, this game could be really good. It's gonna be great back and forth action, and then they pick the Chen and they start pushing, and Doo
woo.
Wop lose a couple heroes. I'm like, well, I guess we're going to game number 2. So yeah, we waited 3 hours for a 15-minute game, but we're here now.
Yeah.
And this game, this is the important one.
This is the big
Doo
one.
Wop, if they could take a game off here for against DC, it would be pretty huge. But
It's time to
after
make
that
a
first
stand.
game, I don't know.
It is time to make a stand. Mott, I believe, especially after seeing game number 1, both of these teams are ready to make a stand. For DC, just by how crushing that was, I feel like they're like, you know what? Why are we here? Why are we in qualifiers? We should be
Right.
invited. We are TI second place finishers. We just won ESL Genting. Dota Pit happened.
Yeah.
Dota Pit happened, but whatever. It's Dota Pit. But they're like, why are we here? Why are we doing? We shouldn't have to do qualifiers for DAC. We shouldn't have to do qualifiers for Star Series. And we're here. We're just gonna beat ass. We're gonna just show everyone that we shouldn't have to be here. Now, no, they didn't say this stuff. This is just me theorizing. But the way they came out in that game, they're just like, we want to be at the LAN. No more fooling around. For Doo Wop, they're trying to be like what every other tier 3, tier 2 team is. They want to be where DC are. So this is their chance to prove. So
I feel like every time I get behind one of these teams that has like really cool players, really top tier name players, and like they could be tier 2, they could be tier 1. I feel like every time I get behind them and I believe in them, I just get hurt in the end. I believe in Doo Wop, and I'm not trying to. I'm just saying like. That first game hurt me a little bit. I think the second game will go a bit better. They don't pick the slaughter. I don't think either. Maybe DC picks it, but DC clearly show that they have no problem playing against the slaughter from Doo Wop. And like, listen, you don't want to ban that, nor do you want to pick it. We're gonna just grab Shadow Demon. We're gonna do our own thing. Oh, by the way, we're gonna get Luna again. Luna Shadow Demon. So good luck with that.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Ooh, that's gotta singe a little bit if you're.
That's spicy, man.
Yeah, if you're on the side of
spicy.
Doo Wop right now, you quickly realize, okay, Shadow Demon made it through. Which, you know what? Compared to like what we've been seeing from Ember and what we've been seeing of Lone Druid, I don't put it past Doo Wop. Those are also very worthy bans. And, we have seen DC play them both, and they are very good with it. But something good's going to get through, and we already know Soxa plays a ridiculously good Shadow Demon, and obviously they're going to go for it right away. This just even plays more to the idea that they're not looking to play around Mott. They don't even consider this a time to experiment with the patch mod. No, we don't want to try out new things. We're just going to take what works, what beats ass, and we want to get this over with and just run right through Doo Wop. I mean, Shadow Demon Luna? Oh my god.
Yeah, they came to play, man. I feel like they're like, listen, if we want to try stuff out, we'll do it in scrims, okay? All right? We're going to just pick Shadow Demon Luna. It's like you said, they want to get through. They want to get to the land. They don't have to worry about this. And 2-0 and Doo Wop is one of the easier ways to do that. There's not too many other teams they have to play. Dialcom, they get a free walkover win because they just disbanded. That's a whole other thing if you were just joining us that you didn't really catch, but that's fine. Rubik is banned. It's a hero that's been picked very often, so no Rubik this game. Which, by the way, I love seeing Rubik now. I'm glad it's really started to come around and be that top pick hero. But we'll see what they decide to go for. Doo Wop have the next pick. They pick up the Juggernaut. They pick up the Sand King. So imagine some supports will come out for DC. Or excuse me, Doo Wop. Interested that they didn't pick up a support with their second pick. But
first things first, though, got to get rid of a couple of those juicy pickups here. Doo Wop don't want to be at risk, of course, of the Meepo play. I mean, from DC's perspective, they may be like, I don't even want to play Meepo. That's just too much effort for this. So,
right.
But whatever the case, Doo Wop don't even want to risk it. They get rid of it again. No surprise they get rid of the Chen. Misery did a great job on it and certainly made the early game impact they were hoping to get out of him, and obviously warrants the ban here moving forward. DC getting rid of the Darkseer. I mean, it was a prize pickup in the last game. Could be, considered here. Again, no Earth Spirit for either team. But moving forward here, Doo Wop do have some potential options. I mean, we don't see it much anymore, but, Jug potentially to the mid lane or Sand King to a support. Doo Wop have already shown that they're willing to be one of those teams that play Solardar in the sword position, so I wouldn't put it past them to put Sand King there either.
Well, we'll see what they decide to go for. I actually kind of want to see. I don't know if they're going to do it. Legion Commander coming out from Digital Chaos. I like them picking up that hero. It's just something that Moon plays very well. I think it fits this game. They're going to go Centaur instead. They're like the only team I feel like that plays Centaur. I'm sure Shannon is extraordinarily happy right now. I'm sure he's gleeing and whatever. Yeah, Centaur. Yay. What
He's
a
been
great
definitely
hero.
seeing a little bit of airtime. Great, of course, as we know, for his disengage and engagement. Like Luna's chasing you down. He's got an Eclipse going. You just slam down the R hammer, and suddenly you can get the hell out of there before you're eating too much ridiculous damage. Late game, happens to get an Agnum Scepter. Obviously, would be able to kind of shrug all that power off. The return in the late game also could help in just kind of dishing that back to Luna as well. But, you know, I'm seeing this time a couple of great initiators where they won't also be crippled like we saw by the Slaughter without giving that, you know, getting that Blink Dagger. Now I feel like they already have a lot more options when they got that itch to fight like we saw in game number 1.
Right. Right. I think it's Doo Wop has put themselves in a better position. Just to clarify, I think they put themselves in a better position in the early game for sure. I'm surprised that I feel like DC is one of the few teams that plays Centaur Warrunner, so I'm kind of surprised that Doo Wop picks it. But I don't know if that was. I think it's probably maybe a deny pick against DC, or they have an idea of if they want to fight early. Again, there's other options in the offlane. It's not like Moon is just he plays only 1 or 2 heroes. He's got a vast hero pool in terms of what he can pick. I'm kind of excited. Not only that, but to see what Weehaw plays mid. I think there's a lot of options here. Yeah, they banned out the Meepo.
I could see Invoker. I could see a Weehaw Invoker game.
Yeah, I think
you know,
I think that's a good.
That is a possibility. I mean, Shadow Demon for the global setup. You know, Disruptor's there now, but I don't think that's enough to deter it. And we'll have to see. But another Disruptor grab. So it does. I don't know if this is like a Clairvoyant special, like something he just likes to play a lot. Maybe he you know, he has an interesting way of thinking about the game. Maybe he just values the hero super highly, or maybe Biru does. Whatever the case may be, they pull it out. You know, again, it doesn't feel like that direct. It doesn't feel like that direct counter. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Great support who has as you mentioned, team fight. He has that. He has the control. He has the silence. He has glimpse, which could be argued as one of the best skills in the game. Being able to just get those free pickoffs and pullbacks, and any skill that has a way to manipulate a player's positioning seems to be like an OP kind of a skill, you know. But Shadow Demon comes out, so no Invoker, just full on Swag Fiend here.
And this is a hero that we're seeing a lot recently. DC have picked it occasionally. They've picked it once in their last 10 games, I believe, and that was a game in Ginseng against Newbie, which they lost that game. So they also picked in that game. They also picked Legion, as I had mentioned previously, for Moon. So they again, that's the big thing for me is what are they going to pick in the offlane? I think Shadow Fiend is a perfectly fine option. If it's against Jug, I think it works just as well. If you could get those souls early on, you could really bully the Juggernaut early on in the game. You have plenty of team fight again with raises. I think it's just a solid choice. I'm glad that it's making a comeback. It's still got some swagger.
I Doo Wop really love these greedy lineups. You know, like I was saying at the beginning, like I wouldn't be surprised if this turned into a support Sand King, and what do you know, it actually did. So you know, it puts a lot of pressure on this Disruptor. I mean, I know I play my pubs. I'm not saying, you know, my pubs even are close to matching with this, but I go into pubs and I like playing 5 position, you know, but it's hard to play a 5 position when you're 4 or, you know, your like assistant or partner in support is like just a straight up jungler or something like that.
Right.
But, you know, it's pressure on Clairvoyance for this one, and pressure also on Biru to kind of step up and be able to get the Blink Dagger. But Beastmaster is back. I don't know if it was because of those whole problems with his micro or summoning his creeps. I read a little bit about that. But ever since they fixed it, all of a sudden, yeah, they're playing Beastmaster again.
I mean, it's a hero they've played in the past a lot.
Right, there's 3
not necessarily this patch, but Magnus, wow. All right, Magnus Jug, that's pretty good, and even with Centaur 2 as well.
Who's going? Okay, I guess he's mid. I guess it's a 747 special. Magnus mid. He played a bit of that during his time on Archon.
It could be mid Jug, but I'd be surprised if they send the Magnus like in the safe lane. I don't know. This is kind of a weird, wacky, wonky lineup type of thing. I think DC's lineup is pretty cut and dry, but
yeah,
I love Magnus because it's one of those hit or miss heroes that could either be a big plays or it could just whiff entirely. And it's just look at their team fight: Stampede, RP, Static Storm, Glimpse, Juggernaut, Omni Slash, Blade Fury. You have Sand King, you have the Burrow Strike, you have the Epicenter. They have everything to go for them when it comes to team fighting early on into the game. So. I mean, if they do have somebody in the jungle or somebody roaming around early on, like that sinking, like you were talking about, it's going to be interesting. But They have some team fight, man.
Oh, they
got some
have
team fight.
tons of team fight. I mean, they have that kind of lineup where you can like you could just get beat all game long. You could lose the laning stage, but maybe you got some levels, and you're like, but what if we get that one team fight? Like we just get everything off at that perfect moment and just have like that total eclipse. We'd be able to work it out and just survive. So I don't know. Can they do it? Maybe. They might also get crippled by their cooldowns too. It's going to be an interesting one. I love Magnus. I mean, he's a crowd pleaser, a big RP. That's for me, you know?
Oh, yeah. We'll see how 747 does with it. He only has currently in Fair Fight. They're going to give him 2 tankers or something pretty soon. But they drop a ward down. Biryu smoked up, but so too did Saksa, and you can see where they warded early on. Meanwhile, top lane, Misery might get caught out. Clairvoyance, he's going to spot him momentarily. Maybe not. UR's here as well. And Misery was being kind of aggressive. He knows that he's an ogre. He has a significant amount of armor. He actually has 9 to start the game with. So it's pretty hard to kill that guy with the 2 heroes they had up in that top lane. So he can kind of walk around and bully a bit. But it is going to be, of course, Moonmander on that Beastmaster. This is a hero DC used to love running. We'll see what they do with it. Clairvoyance walks for the high ground.
Hey.
Maybe not the best idea. Misery's like, hey, I'm just going to hit you real quick. But
Luckily, without the Shadow Demon being around and getting any sort of block off like that, there's not too much first blood potential as Saksa's all the way on the other side of the map, hanging out down here at the bottom by his boy Resolution. So we will not have any sort of early game fisticuffs, if you will.
So what is the X factor here? Is it Biryu's Sand King? I think it almost must be because, again, they have very good team fight, but is he going to be able to get the experience? He's going to be able to get the items to help out his team.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes here. He's not going bottom to help out Snaking in the center warner, who gets a poor main shield.
I'm so curious what he's going to do. Like, is he just straight up jungle? Is he trying to make a first gank happen? I mean, we've seen teams still able to pull off those off-lane pulls. I mean, they're not even opting to go for that. Like, some may consider that like a dirty tactic or whatever, but, you know, in a game when there's a lot stacked against you, maybe that's when you kind of pull out those kind of shenanigans. But whatever the case may be, he needs to turn this one-on-one mid lane into a 2-on-2 because Misery's already here, clubbing away on 747, and he needs the extra assistance. So, yeah, this is every mid laner's dream right now.
The Empower is helping out, but he had such a good laning advantage. The creep wave was on his hill for a bit. They tried pulling it back. Now, finally, it's going to 747's favor. But you can see Misery already helping Weehaw out. They really want to secure the Shadow Fiend's early farm, but Moonmander is right now foregoing the off lane in favor of just jungling. Jungle Beastmaster used to be pretty common. Still probably is pretty common. Iron Talon picked up. He goes for the board level 1. Yeah, another hero coming in. The courier. Biryu. He misses it. He doesn't go for it. Instead, he wants to get the Burrow Strike off. They have the Thunder Strike. I don't know if this is enough damage. They have another Burrow Strike at 7 seconds. I don't think that's going to help, especially with the Borslow coming out. And now Misery is here, and Biryu might have overextended himself. They don't have Ignite. They do have Bloodlust, though. I don't know if they can chase Biryu down. Looks like Misery's going to try to get a hit off or two, but I don't know. They also have the Shrine if they want to use it for the raiding team. I think Biryu's fine, but they didn't go for the curve. They don't get anything out of that gank attempt.
Yep, just kind of scare him back. Doo Wop are in there to kind of let Moon know, like, hey, we know what you're doing over here, okay? But with Misery floating around, they're not going to
no. They almost got the block kind of sneaking bottom, I think. Resolution tried for it. They even had the Soul Catcher go out, but Snaking's fine. He's good to go.
Snaking fending off the pressure here. Last game, you know, he had the benefit, or what was they were hoping to be a big benefit was having Biryu by his side to kind of just take the initiative in the lane. But this time he's going to be doing it all by himself. For now, matching up okay against Resolution, but I'm looking at the laning stage where Resolution can kind of do as he pleases. So it's going to be interesting to see pan out. As long as he has Saksa hanging down there by his side, Resolution is not going to be under any pressure at all. He doesn't have to split the XP here. Just happy to trade blows, so not much to stop him. Mid lane, Burrow in for Biryu. Nice skewer back. Weehaw going to be under the tower. Dishes out the raises, trying to get Biryu, but not going to be able to get it done. First blood going to be going the way of the Doo Wop.
That's huge for 747. Stops the Necromastery stacks from getting any more out of control. 747 gets some free laning. Well, sort of free. He is a bit behind that of the Shadow Fiend.
Moon top lane in a lot of trouble too. The back end of a Blade Fury, but he makes it under the tower. Just barely makes it out.
Yeah, this is why he doesn't want to go to the lane. UR and Clairvoyance clearly already dominating the lane in terms of keeping control of it. UR is getting free farm up here. 20 last hits right now. Resolution's not that far behind. Snaking still doing a pretty good job soaking experience. He's level 3. We'll use the disruption from Saksa, but that won't really turn into anything other than just making sure he gets pushed out of lane.
I gotta say, overall, feels definitely a bit better for for Doo Wop going in the laning stage this go around here. Jugs obviously got his free will happening at the top. That takedown of Whis certainly elevates the Magnus a bit. I mean, it's already, you know, obvious on paper he's going to be outmatched in a Shadow Vane versus Magnus kind of a matchup, but, you know, that will help. Weehaw still certainly ahead in the CS game, and Misery's still not looking to fend off too far. He wants to make sure he keeps BO2 in check, so nothing like that's going to be happening again.
Yeah, everything seems, like you mentioned, this just is a lot better than the last game. Everything seems relatively even. The first blood did go for Doo Wop. Right now, it's just trying to get your farm. Yuar is getting plenty of farm up at that top lane. I don't know if they can deal with him anytime soon. BO2 has been spotted by Misery, who doesn't have any mana, but here comes Weehaw. They take the illusion room. BO2 burrow strike. Raze isn't there, so Weehaw can't find the kill. BO2's pretty low. We'll see if he just walks himself back home. I don't think they have any way to regen him. They'll tango himself up.
But, you know, he's flirting around this mid lane a lot, participating in these little antics, and he's not going to have a lot of time really for himself. I mean, Misery's also doing a bit of the same, but he's closer at least to level 3. There's going to be a point where BO2 might need to just kind of get some levels, otherwise he's going to feel a bit weak when it comes time to really, you know, start taking some bigger fights here. Right now they are contesting Moon Meander once again, but Moon, confident, moves in with Misery by his side, and suddenly BO2's just instantly dead.
Yeah, they wanted, I think, they wanted to get the creep wave there. They wanted to push the tower. They wanted to have BO2 there involved, but Misery just rotates over. Moon Meander knows what's going on, and that's just essentially a free kill that they didn't need to give away. So that is not that great for Doo Wop here. Meanwhile, Snaking having to head back home in that bottom lane, sitting at about 90 HP or so. He was getting pressured, I think, as Soul Catcher as well as the elusive beams were coming out from Resolution, who's starting to get some pretty good farm himself. Only about 200 net worth behind that of the Juggernaut, who is essentially having free farm. It's a pretty close game, and despite Weehaw dying, he's still roughly right around where that Magnus is now ahead of him, where he should be.
Yeah, Magnus just got shoved right back out of the lane. He has a salve for now, but Weehaw takes his place confidently back and obviously still wins in terms of CS and farm and matchup to the Magnus, but the attention's still going to be coming his way. BO2 once again going to be hanging around the neighborhood, still at his fresh level 2 here though. Looks like just waiting out for that rune to come in. And Snake coming back to the lane. You know, obviously it's even showing for him. Resolution's almost 2 levels ahead of him. He is 2 levels ahead of him now. And that was in a 2v1 kind of a matchup. So Centaur is going to be just kind of a bit on hold. I hope they don't miss the window of a fight, you know, fighting opportunity for Doo Wop. So I'm curious to see if like
they need experience. Yeah. Like we talked about for the Sand King. I mean, it's not necessarily him. It's more so Snake King getting his level 6. And, I guess the Magnus also, he's going to have his 6 right now as he picks up a Bounty Rune. Maybe get some Arcanes, build into a Blank Dagger eventually. But they really need their levels. They really need their abilities. Despite the fact that Yuar is getting farmed, maybe they can go for another gank attempt potentially. They have BO2 with an Invis Rune down bottom, which was not spotted by an Observer Ward. And Resolution is at half HP. Coming in is going to be Saksa. He's also a good target. But again, BO2 is level 2, so it's not like you can really do much here without Snaking. Snaking coming with a creep wave. I don't know if they can find anything. Resolution would be prime real estate if they want to go for it.
Yeah, but now the creep wave's moving forward. It's going to be under the tower. This is very awkward. Saksa's all the way on the other side of the lane. He plops down a ward, but while he's far from his buddy, Resolution, that's when they're going to make their move. Oh, but they missed the stomp. Saksa's going to be there now, and he can dish out the disruption. This might be just far gone, and as you can see, just turns into an easy nap for Resolution. Very awkward engagement. Unfortunately, they're not able to catch their mark. And Yuar even
rotated down bottom now. Yeah. So they have to push something or else this is just wasted. They lose another hero top lane. That like minute span of events for Doo Wop, just everything crumbled for them. They just needed a half second more for that sun to come out from the Centaur Warrunner. It just wasn't there for Snaking. He doesn't have his Stampede, like I said, he doesn't have his level 6 yet.
Yep.
And now Moon Meander he was afraid to just walk up at his top lane against Yuar. He can start putting pressure with his borer. He's got his head just ready to go as well. So, I mean, this is tough. All of a sudden, they're starting to take a lot of damage to their safe lane tower.
Yep. Your levels are showing now. That's not like your age is showing. Your levels are showing if you're Doo Wop. You're seeing the support is still kind of crippled a bit. In the XP, the offlaners just not on the same level now. Moon getting close to level 8. Here. They have ults ready to work with here. I mean, had that been a normal offlane phase, I mean, not normal, but one more favorable for Doo Wop, they would have had that Centaur ult good to go here. They are going to make their move in, looking to grab Moon Meander here. But swing and a miss. Not going to get the connection. Moon just dancing all over him. They're going to have to commit the Omni Slash to be able to get the finish. At this point, though, Doo Wop, they'll take what they can get. But bottom lane, DC takes something for themselves. A tier 1 going down.
That was a level 1 burrow strike. If that was probably level 2, he gets that stun and they get that kill without using the Omni Slash. However, not only that, they lose the tier 1 tower bottom as well as the tier 1 tower top. Mid lane, Weehaw walking up. He is going to get glimpsed back. They have RP ready. They have the skewer back. Will they commit the RP is the question. They have the burrow strike coming in. They need that kill. They needed that kill badly for Doo Wop, and they get it. And BO2 also TPs it and gets involved and gets to level 4 because of it. But again, they are still taking a lot of damage down bottom Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, they just took out that tier 1. They got 2/3 of this tier 2 already down. And they'll take that and run. Plus Moon gets the top lane to work with. Sure, Doo Wop are going to be thankful to be able to bring in a couple of kills for themselves and start getting some XP towards these supports. But I mean, DC obviously going to be having the last laugh, at least for now. Moon's probably going to move back. He picks up a TP. After the Vlads are also complete, he's got his ulti ready to go here. DC can just choose now if they want to just kind of slow play it a bit, or, you know, start putting these level 6s to use.
Well, Weehaw is picking up a Dragonlance, so I feel like they want to be a little bit more involved early.
Yeah, they are. Moon smoked up. They're going over. They're looking to play.
This is still a counter smoke, though, from Doo Wop. Are you coming with the Thunder, or excuse me, a Burrow Strike potentially? Static Storm first, Burrow Strike to follow. Weehaw, I think, might fall here first, but can they find anything else?
They got it done. Primal Roar in the back inside. 747 shoves him back, but there's going to be the Eclipse. He dishes out the RP. He's going to try to do what he can to Moon. Burrow Strike will help get the finish. 747 looking to run back, but he will lose his own life. Glaives coming on forward. Resolution bops down Clairvoyance. It's going to be a 2-for-2 split, but they're not done yet. There goes the Mighty Purge. You are not going to be able to Blade Fury away from this one, and the right clicks continue to come through. Resolution begin to clean up and be the lawnmower here as he claims a triple kill with a cute little taunt at the end of it right now.
Yeah.
He wants the tier 1. DC wants to get the quick 2-0 and get on with their day.
It's just Resolution's real farm. He only got a 1-man RP. He almost hit the 2-man RP there. Unfortunately, not able to do so. They did get that kill immediately on Weehaw, but they expended so much to get that kill. They don't have Epicenter skilled up. He's level 5, so they didn't have any extra team fight from the Sand King other than a Burrow Strike or 2. And he's just really farmed at this point. He can just sit back, he can use his glaives, and he can go to work. And he has Misery helping him out with the Bloodlust. And it's just too much, I think. They're a little bit too far behind. You are getting, or rather catching out Soxa here. He might be a free kill. He does have his Disruption. He'll use it for a moment, but I don't see him surviving. Staking, gonna stomp it up and grab the kill from that. So at least they get a return kill there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Soxa going in, invading. He's trying to pull out that comfort mission where you get that nice little juicy deep ward down. But Snaking had been kind of patrolling a bit, spotting him. He didn't want to get down too obvious of a ward, but unfortunately that means he's lingering around a bit too long. They just easily TP'd on that shrine and got a hold of him. No big deal. He was on a man on a mission. DC already are taking care of business elsewhere. Misery's going to get solo farm time at the top lane, pushing towards his level 6. But again, the big breadwinner, Resolution and his Luna now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 Dragonlances coming out. Like we talked about, one for Weehaw, one for Resolution. Bottom lane, though, looks like there might be a fight happening. Moonmander uses the axes, breaks the trees down, and so the jig is up. You are, and Clairvoyance are going to back away. And Observer Ward is going to catch them and see where they're headed. But like I said, this is a very, I think, early game-oriented plan. They have the Vlads from Beastmaster. He's going to go for an immediate Blink Dagger to follow things up unless he changes his mind. But it's all about that initiation, getting kills, and I think turning it into towers from now, Dakota.
BO2 now level 6. Epi's good to go. RP also up. I mean, when you throw together this kind of a team, now you're at that point where it's like, hey, we got all of our ultis. If we just get it all together and we get that fight, that one fight, we can do it. But are they ever going to get that fight? That becomes the next big question.
Well, they can't fight here. They glyph the tower, but the tower is already pretty much dead at this point. So by the time they get over to the lane, maybe they find a couple heroes retreating, 1 or 2. They will find out Resolution, who immediately eclipses in. Now, BO2, he pops the shrine and then runs away instantly, sandstorming along the way. Burrow Strike to the high ground. He's going to look for a TP out. Looks like he might be able to make it away. Soxa doesn't have Shadow Poison, so they weren't able to find that disruption or anything like that. So they only get the kill, well, I say only, they get the kill on Snaking as well as that tier 1 tower. Now Misery will find Clairvoyance. Fire Blast will go glimpse back. And Claire's on the run. TP out, he'll probably make it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Stampede into an Eclipse. Resolution just on the high ground, casually waiting for him. He just hits the R button, and unfortunately for Snaking, he takes pretty much all of the damage on that one. He goes down. He's back now, but your tier 2's in trouble, and they actually commit the roar. They're looking to catch him out the front door. A zoning Stack Storm to be able to keep Moon Meander in his place. Will fend off DC for now, but now they look to 747. Skewer right into the wall. He can't even make it back into the base. Oh, poor Doo Wop. They are just scrambling to make it back inside for the defense.
Yeah,
DC.
once that demonic purge goes out on 747, they can't fight. Once that static storm even really misses, they can't really go for that fight. They needed a stampede. They didn't have it. They had to just skewer away. He's even going for, looks to be an echo saber for the Magnus. So this is just, it's good. It does a lot of damage. It helps you farm, but
I don't know if you want to be fighting like DC head on. I don't know, but I mean, if they get that RP stack storm and he's able to just kind of just unload the right click, it would be, yeah, fantastic. But even now, DC will be able to show off a precious new Aegis here and an extra life. Just really going from objective to objective. Tier 2 on top lane is the last thing standing before they could move on to start taking some shrines. But Mon, I'll be honest, they seem to be on pace with pretty much closing out game number 2, similar in the time frame as game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, the early game for Doo Wop was certainly way more stable for them, but it just feels like they only prolonged their lifespan a little bit. I mean, again, they can still find ways. They have the team fight to win this game. They have the team fight to get themselves back into this game. But if you look at the net worth, it's already pretty significantly in DC's favor. They're starting to get it more tanky. They have more split push potential coming out soon. They have plenty of damage. And they're just, again, they're going down that checklist little by little. And they'll take the last outer tower. And with an Aegis now, they could head up to the high ground here where they have Dragon Lances, they have a Blink Dagger for Moon Man. They've pretty much got everything they need in order to win this game.
Now, no Blink Dagger yet on 747, but Doo Wop with those team fights.
He does a lot of damage.
Let's see how much they can get done here. Confident Weehaw with that Aegis just pounds away onto the tier 3, eats a bit of damage now, doesn't have to worry about repositioning too much. They still go for the glimpse, but obviously it's not going to matter too much. Does it jump in? The roar right as movement comes out from Snay. He just gets punished immediately. They move in, trying to get a hold of Weehaw's Aegis life, but he's just standing and fighting. Sock's going to go for the save. RP comes out, but it's only to bring the damage close to their face. They will be able to bring down Moon Meander, but a Requiem flies out from Wee, and it is just good game. Just like that, it takes about a half hour to complete both of our games, but we are done here, and so is DC.
Wow, that was great reaction time from that blink from Snake King. They were ready. They knew that was like one of the only ways they were going to lose the team fight. They were ready for that jump in. The RP misses, it only hits onto Moon Meander. He already expended his roar. UR didn't get any damage off. He still had his Omni Slash at the end of the fight. There's just nothing they could do there. There's just nothing they could do, I think, in that game. It's just, again, it was a good team fight-oriented draft. I don't know about BO2 playing the Sand King. I'm sure it could have worked. But it's just DC returning to form after Dota Pit. They've looked very solid. They've lost one game against MP, but I think now they are, I believe, at the top of Star Ladder Americas, Dakota.
It certainly seems to be the case. A little awkward here at the end, as I guess apparently you can't GG out of a game, which is a shame because I'd like to see the stats, but this one is over, folks. Congratulations again to DC here. They will take the wins. I mean, that has probably been the easiest 4 points in a group stage I've ever seen in my life, Mott. DC come in, ready for their first series of the day, which is against Dialcom. Dialcom apparently not much of a team anymore, so they'll take the 2 free points there. And now in their matchup against Doo Wop, takes really about a half hour to just take both games. DC kind of, as I mentioned before, just really showing why they feel maybe they are deserving of direct invites and not working through these qualifiers. Looks like it there. I'm excited to see, though, how they would match up against, like, you know, Infamous and Freedom and such.
Mm-hmm. I think DC are by far and away the favorites. I think some of the other teams, they've played well, but they just aren't on the same level. I mean, I thought Doo Wop was going to do pretty well here, and it wasn't even close. I think the most interesting series in terms of like not between NP and some other teams or like NP, DC, and Cole, I think is actually Complexity and Infamous, which is next, Dakota. That should be a good one.
Should be a doozy.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, our final best of 2 for today, which we may have a bit of delay because these games were so fast. We may have to wait like an hour or so before it starts up, but we will have Complexity versus Infamous coming up next. One last time, let's give it up. It's Digital Chaos, your ESL Genting champions here, showing why they want to just kind of get straight to the LAN here for the Star Series Shanghai run and get a piece of that $300,000 prize
They Suns fan them. They Suns fan Doo Wop.
Yes, they did.
Unfortunate.
So, easy 4 points for Digital Chaos today. Doo Wop will not take a point today, but they will have further games to try to advance themselves further in the group stage. But Mott, that concludes things for me and you. Sorry that your day ended up being just so brief. You had been waiting around patiently much longer than the games actually were.
That's all right, man. I'm just glad I get to come back and cast some American Dota. I'm gonna keep tabs. I'm gonna watch all of the games from here on out. I do have some things I have to do, however, but it was a pleasure joining you today, and hopefully the next series is a lot better than this one. Hopefully Complexity Infamous lives up to the name, the hype. But it's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me, Dakota.
Thank you, Mott. Make sure you go show your love to Mott. Hit him up on his Twitter at MottDota. We are not done today. We have one more matchup, as it's going to be Complexity taking on Infamous for our final best of 2. That match was slated to start. Let's see if that's 3:30 into 6, guys. We have about 1 hour and 15 minutes till this match is scheduled to begin. 1 hour and 15 minutes until Infamous versus Complexity. It's going to be me again, and this time I'll be joined by CC and C, Quinn. So it should be an awesome time, guys. All right, we'll see you in about 1 hour and 15 minutes for Infamous versus Complexity. Take care, enjoy, and we'll see you soon.